But if the people know we're always troubleshooters, always going to cause problem, when they see us, even the peace they had before we came in, that peace will be disturbed, because we are not men and women of peace. And the word of God says, follow peace. And little children, they know men and women of peace. And when your little children, when you come in, and those little children, they are disturbed, their hearts caught, they are afraid, they lose their peace, they become absent-minded, they don't know what they are going to do again. Those children are telling you a story. Man, you are not a man of peace. You have come in, and we just have to be like this, like a lion has come in and all the cats must get into their holes. Or a woman comes in and the husband is afraid. The husband has been happy, peaceful, collected, calm. Now the wife comes in and the man says, why is it so early like this that she has come? Because whenever she comes in, trouble has come in. But she's a Christian. She's born again. And she is sanctimoniously sanctified. Such people, they don't step upon an ant when they are walking. They walk in a holy manner. Deliberate, quiet, but don't be fooled. They are terrible. And their husbands know that they are terrible. Once the husband says, it takes grace to live with this wife, that's a story. Story. If it takes grace to live with you, it's a story. If it takes grace, you as a worker, if the state leader says, I thank God for the grace of God. To stay with that worker, walk along with that worker, it takes grace. It's telling us a story. That without that extra bit of grace, so and so, it's terrible. And when you yourself, you tell people and you say, look, maybe you are new in the state and you come to and you say, state leader, you'll need to be patient with me. I was in this state before. Well, they didn't quite enjoy me. Well, I'm not perfect. That's right. You got the story. You are not perfect. And you are so happy you are not perfect. And coming from that stage to this stage, you cannot sit down on the road and say, before I enter the border of that state, that thing that made everybody in this other state inconvenient, and they are happy that I am leaving the state. And they say, sister, we hear that you are leaving our state. When are you going? Next week. Next week? Isn't their vehicle tomorrow? That's telling you a story. And what made them in that stage to fear you and to really be running away from you? Now you are coming to this state. You cannot sit down at the border of the new state and say, this thing they are complaining about, which doesn't make me to have peace with all these people. Let me drop them at the border before I enter. And you enter that state again. As a new person, they didn't know you before, at least as a worker. And you go to the state rep and you say, state rep, in the other state, my former state representative, he had a lot of grace. Because otherwise, he couldn't have kept me as a worker. And I'm giving you also a warning. You need grace. I'm a worker, but you will need grace. To live with me and to use me as a worker. Do we have it? I mean, this thing they are talking about, without peace and holiness, they are together. Follow peace and holiness, without which, both things, no man shall see the Lord. And you see, many people When they go all about and they talk about being holy, being righteous, what they are talking about is something you can see on the external. But look at this. Peace starts from the inside. Why should there are two things in the verse that are very essential, that are very important. The peace and the holiness. How can the peace start from the inside and then the holiness will start from the outside? How can? If the peace is starting from the inside, then the holiness is starting from the inside. And when that peace comes on the inside of you, it makes everybody come to rest. And when that holiness comes, the holiness does not cancel or supersede or hide the peace. You've got peace in your heart. Now holiness has come. The holiness will not cancel the peace. The peace will be there, coexistent with the holiness. The holiness will not hide and cover the peace. The peace is still glaring, manifest, seen by everybody, that that man is a peaceful man. That woman is a peaceful woman.